Hey there. Welcome to the Outdoor Adventure Hour. I'm your host, Rob Lupo from Lupo Outdoors. And today, today is going to be special. It's going to have a lot of fun with this one here. We're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite tools. There are pros and cons to this tool. That we're talking about the Kestrel 5700X Elite. Now, we talked about it before, um, not too long ago. Matter of fact, last week we discussed it a little bit. We have a couple of training videos that we're going to be doing with this to teach you how to set up, configure, and get this thing absolutely running the way it needs to be. So, like I said, welcome to the Outdoor Adventure Hour. Today we're zeroing in, not zeroing in, but first a new tongue. I'm working it out. We're going to zero in on a tool that's become almost essential for long range shooters. Now, there are a plethora of people out there who do extreme long range, and they use a multitude of different techniques to get it out. Today, we're, like I said, focusing on the Kestrel 5700X Elite. Whether you're looking to tighten up your grouping at a mile or just geeking out on some high-tech shooting gear, this episode is absolutely for you. I would like to start by thanking Kestrel for sending us this 5700X Elite. Now, so the 5700 Elite has gained such a reputation in the shooting community, and how it can possibly enhance your shooting accuracy and consistency is right there. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this little device here. Now, there are pros and cons, and we'll get to the pros and cons of this. But overall, this is a tremendous device. First of all, let's talk about what are the differences between the 5700, the 5700 Elite, and the 5700X Elite. Let us take a look here. I happen to have the site up. So this is the 5700 Elite right here. Now, when we look at the prices of this, of this device, this is not cheap at all. So when we look at everything, so here's the base 5700. It has all your basic tools in there. It doesn't have the flip up screen like this does, where you can open it up to allow the wind vent. It's nice because it does link with other devices out there, but it moves on from there. So let's look at the 5700 Elite with the applied to ballistics. This is more of the traditional type with the flip up windscreen and all your devices. Now, the 5700 Elite with applied ballistics and the link. The link allows it to connect to your phone, which is fantastic. Most of the configurations I've discovered happen inside the phone. So when you're doing your bullet parameter, or you're setting up a situation for a specific rifle, and you're putting in the ammo and the rifle information, the twist rate, and all the information. It's done on the phone, and then it's sent to the Kestrel. Now, the Kestrel itself, this device can link to the hub, and the hub is a device that connects directly to your rifle. So when you have the Kestrel set up, like on a weather vane on a tripod, it'll send information directly to the HUD that's connected to your rifle, so you can actually see exactly what's going on. So the 57 weather meter applied ballistics, great device, retails currently about $749. Now, when we look at the X, which is the device that I have, it happens to be the same color as that one too. That's $899. $899. You can choose tan or flat dark earth. You can get a carrying case. You can get a holster. And if you want, yes, you can actually get your Kestrel laser engraved. Fantastic device. Really, really great. When we look at this, here's all the different Kestrel configurations and setups. You have the 2700. You have the 5700. You have the Ruger 5700. Now, the Ruger 5700 actually has the Ruger rifles and match grade ammo library built into it. So you just pick which rifle you have. You have the Hornady 5700, right? Which allows you to do 3 gun profiles, 1 target. You got your win, all this nifty stuff, but it has your custom bullet files, form factor calibration guide, and a 0 angle. And this is accurate out to about 3,800 yards. Then we go to the 5700 Elite and the X Elite. There's a little bit more, it's about $150 difference. And as you can see, they pretty much match up until you get right here. Easy mode. Yeah, easy mode would have been nice. I don't know why you don't have it for a device that's near $900. You can do 30 gun profiles. If you're anything like me, this actually may not be enough, but hypothetically, it should be fine. You can have 30 stages with 10 targets in each stage. Crosswind jump, spin drift, muzzle velocity, temperature correlation, moving target, lead calculator. Everything is pretty much on here. But wherever all the other ones drop, the Elite and the Elite X has a built-in range card, a target card, the custom curves for applied ballistics, subsonic range truing, drop scale factor, and then 0 offset. And the Elite X has the faster processor for extreme long range. Now, the question is that necessary? Well, when you're doing extreme long range and you have sporadic wind and you need to take that shot, or especially if you're in a competition, you need to take that shot. Yes, that faster processor is almost instantaneously. And the other thing that I thought was interesting was the adjustable Bluetooth strength settings. So when you're using Bluetooth, it has a strong chance to help run down your battery a lot faster, right? So what I can do is I can set up the bipod with the wind vine, put my Kestrel there, and I can adjust the Bluetooth strength to be just strong enough to reach my Kestrel. And this is available out to 5,500 yards. That's pretty bloody far. So this is the one that we have. We have the 5700X Elite. Once again, Kestrel, thank you so much. It was very, very kind of you. They sent us this specifically for the project we're doing, the shootout to a mile, plus all the other gear. So let's talk about the Kestrel a little bit here. When you have your base wind, there's pros and cons here. My wind is near me, and it's pretty much true for about 100 yards, right? So I can do my corrections, and for 100 to maybe 200 yards, I'm going to hit my target. The further I go out, the more of an issue I can have. Wind, as we discussed last week, isn't a constant, right? Just because I'm getting 5 mile per hour wind from southeast towards the target currently doesn't specify the fact that that's what we're going to get consistently, right? So the farther out we go, we're going to have different wind movements and stipulations, all right? So if I'm judging my wind currently at my position, I have to start looking down range. And what I've talked to other long range shooters is every 100 yards, they have some level of flag indication. Often it's fluorescent tape, and they'll get a couple of feet of it and put a small little bit of weight on there. And what they know is and what's really great about the Kestrel is I can set up several of these. And then what I can do is I can attach it to a moving, like weather vane. They're very, very inexpensive. I found a couple of them out there. So it gives me an indication right off the bat, but it also, I can actually see how much of the tape is being pulled out off of gravity. And by using the Kestrel near something like that, I can start judging the wind speed just like a windsock. Now, windsocks are great because it goes orange, white, orange, white, orange, white, and it narrows down. So the windsock will actually give you the direction of the wind, that depending on how many are being pushed up, that tells you your wind speed, which is fantastic. Now, as shooters, we have other ways of doing this. We can do this by watching the vegetation at the different levels. So, like at 600 yards, I can see what the vegetation's doing there compared to 500 and 400 and 300. And what I need to do is identify how the wind's moving to identify how it's going to impact my bullet. Right. So we develop custom loads, and we have our ballistics and our coefficients built in. So we understand how all that gathers and works, but we have to figure it out as quickly as we can so we know where the bullet is. I just, over the last weekend, watched a video that I thought was really impressive. And the guy is doing a competition with prizes, and you can sign up for it. I'm actually going to attempt to get him on the podcast to talk about his show. And what was really neat is you've seen other shows like Texas Plinking, which I absolutely love, where they go out to 1,000 yards and people bring their personal rifles out and they try to get that there as well as they can. So you have to hit they have to hit a sub MOA target, like at 1,000 yards, and then they have the bonus target, which is even smaller. And it's a point system. You go in a gold coin or a silver coin or a bronze coin. Um, Great video, love it. Watch it whenever it comes on. It's great. Now this guy um, is doing a mile. So the range he goes to opens up their mile range, like I think one Sunday out of the month, and you can go out there. And I'm going to talk to him because it might behoove us to go out there and work with him on this. But either way, um, one of the first guys that went out there had a 6.5 Creedmoor round, and he had the March Genesis scope that did 6 by 80. Now I have a March Genesis that's 6 by 60. And so of all the contestants that tried to shoot the mile and just nail the target, he was the only one that did it. And it's not a huge target. It's not, it's, uh, you know, a regular size, gong. That you get 5 shots, and I think it was his third or fourth shot. He actually nailed the target with a 6.5 Creedmoor. That's impressive. 6.5 Creedmoor are supposed to be accurate out to about 1,500 yards. So a mile is 1,700 and change. But he nailed it. He nailed the target. So that was really, really interesting to me. This was the mile-long shot, which I'm going to try to attempt. There's so much involved with this. And I got to admit, the science behind shooting a mile is not only intriguing, but exciting. So we're starting with our Kestrel 5700X Elite. Now, the other thing that Kestrel sent to us was this wonderful little pouch. And when you open it up, it's actually, I'm going to get into camera, it's your weather vane that mounts on a tripod. So you get all your little pieces like here, and it's really simplistic. You just put it together, line it up like this, and this mounts on the tripod. So when the wind blows, it adjusts the Kestrel. And the Kestrel literally mounts just like that. And that was just the coolest thing. You adjust it. And it, like I said, I already have the mount. I already have it mounted on the top for the tripod. Now, Kestrel was kind enough to send me their Kestrel tripod. And we're going to look at this real quick here. It's I don't want to say it's like just a basic tripod. It's actually a really, really nice tripod. It actually, once it's extended all the way up, it's taller than me. So you can adjust it, set it up, configure it, drop planks. It does have a weight hook here, so you can put a weight bag on it to anchor it down. And then this, press a little button here, and then lock it in place. And it has a little bubble level here. So once you have it set up, you set the bubble level and make sure that it's absolutely 0. And then I know exactly where my wind is and the wind speed because it pushes it over directly to my hub. This is absolutely spectacular. Let's put that there. Hey, we have somebody visiting here. I have hit a target with a 243 AI at 1870. Wow, that's awesome. Um, what was your MOA on that, by the way? Like, was it a huge target or was it a small target? But that is spectacular. Great job. Let me type them out here. Yeah, Northwest Guns. Um, so is it easy? Yeah, all right. Northwest Guns. Did you find it easy to go out that far? Because that's just over a mile. Um, or did you have to train for that? I'd love to get your feedback on this. There is so much involved with shooting long range. Um, Part of the process is finding out 19.4 miles on a 28-inch target. Wow. Did you mean 1.94 miles on a 28-inch target? It's a 2-foot target, or just a little bit over 2 feet. That's impressive. Um, how many shots did it take you, or were you like an ace? I did that shot at the night first ELR Steel Challenge. Sweet. Very, very impressive. Congratulations. Um, Matter of fact, Northwest Guns, do me a favor. If when you get a chance, uh, go message me on Facebook under Lupo Outdoors. I have a gift for you for being our first one on the podcast today. So I will be sending you something. So message Lupo Outdoors on Facebook. Give me your address. I'm going to be mailing you something this weekend. Second shot. Damn, boy, that's impressive. That's impressive. These are not easy processes. It's funny because, as many of you know who listen to me, it's a competition shotgun shooter for a long time. And people are like, "Oh, it's easy. You just point at the clay and pull the trigger." And I'm like, "Okay, well, let's go shoot." And we go out and play skeet, trap, or sporting clays, and you can see the bewilderment in their eyes when you have this fast moving puck flying across the air and it's still flying after they pulled the trigger. Um, Not an easy process. So when we look at the Kestrel, like we have here, this is a great tool to help you develop your dope and understanding how to hit those shots. Northwest Guns, have you ever used a Kestrel? Or what did you use to help you figure out your shot? Love to hear about it. But these are great, great devices. Um, and then the HUD really made a big difference to me when I was checking out my, or developing my dope for my gun. As the HUD, once I have my win, starts giving my holds and my changes for my scope at the different yardages. So I have a standard Kestrel 5700. So how did you use the Kestrel 5700 to help you identify? Did you use it because that's not nearly as powerful as when you get to the elites and so forth? But obviously it did the job. Um, Understanding the wind and your holds and the ballistics coefficients of the bullets that you're shooting, the speed is vital. Um, when we start talking about the speed of the bullet, uh, that's you have to have that information inside the Kestrel. So what a lot of people will do is when you're firing and you're shooting, you'll shoot it through a chronograph, and that chronograph will give you your speed and give you your average, and then you use the average inside your Kestrel to identify what modifications and changes you have to do at the different ranges. Um, the range that we're shooting at currently for practice goes out to 850 yards. I've stated this in the past. We had a we had a range here that was about an hour and a half from me, and that went out to over 2,000 yards. Um, he was using a burger. Let me put it up on the mark here. Using a burger 115 grain BLD, target going 3170. Wow, that's a fast bullet. That's a really light bullet too in comparisons. Um, like the bullets I have are like 140. Well, it's not too much lighter, but like my 6.5 Creedmoor is 147 ELD match bullets. Uh, and then those are also tipped. So I in my competition 6.5 Creedmoor, I use the A tips, which are the aluminum tips. Now, Northwest, do you hand load all yours, or do you use factory loads? Out of curiosity, a mile shot. Man, he did over a mile, nail that target on his second shot. That's spectacular, man. Yeah, I'm like I said, message me on Facebook. I'm going to send you something out this weekend. That's incredible. So there is a lot involved. Let's see, hand load everything I do. Spoken like a true hunter. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. We should chat sometime about our load data and what we do. Um, so we talk about the Kestrels, I mean, we have to talk about it's capable to measure wind speed, direction, the humidity, the atmospheric pressure. What am I forgetting here? Tons more. The Kestrel not only helps you understand the environment, but also computes the ballistic corrections needed for your specific rifle and ammunition. Uh, oh, on Instagram. Hey, thanks, man. Um, when you and then I'll ping you and make sure I have your address and name, address, and all that stuff, and I'll mail you something this weekend. I really appreciate you being on board here. Um, and for everybody else, if you watch my videos, make sure you like um, and subscribe. Put a message in the videos that you watch, right? Saying, hey, I watched this video. Give me some type of comment, what you liked, didn't like about it, or if you have some suggestions. And at the end of the month, the more people who like and subscribe and put comments in, we're going to take every one of those. So if you watch 10 of my videos this month and you comment on them and you verify you're subscribed and you subscribe on Instagram as well, the more we have, the bigger the prize at the end of the month. And we'll do a raffle and we will have a giveaway. And the more I see, the bigger the giveaway is going to be. Um, so, so you got to imagine being on the range or in the competition, and within just a few clicks, you have all the data you need to make an informed shot. That's the power of the Kestrel. It's a very, very strong microcomputer that has the information. Now, we also talked about the difference in the ballistics and the fact that it's doing temperature, the humidity, atmospheric pressure, wind speed, altitude. All of these are configurations that affect your bullets drop. And that's just insanity when it comes to trying to figure all this out. This is not easy. No one ever said it was going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it, right? Um, let's see here, Northwest. With the cartridge that I've designed recently, it's a 25 caliber, 135 grain, going 3,050 feet per second. Let's say transonic out to 1,927 yards. Holy crap, that's awesome. How long have you been developing that? Because that's really impressive. The problem that we have is once it comes out of transonic, it drops a lot faster. So having it at high speeds for a longer period, that's impressive. So when we start looking at everything here, drink. Everything has a purpose, right? So when we're looking at the speed and we're looking at the overall bullet drop and how it affects everything that we work with, this is the difference between hitting and missing. You have spent about a year working on this. That's impressive, my friend. That's really impressive. It's harder for me to do the long range stuff because, like I've stated in the past, for 20 years I've been a shotgun shooter, competition shotgun shooter. So to me, it's about hitting bright orange clay pigeons as they go zooming by at high speeds. Now, it has given me a benefit. One, after shooting thousands and thousands of 12 gauge shotgun shells over the last 20 years, I am not recoil shy at all. I don't even think of recoil. When I shot the 416 and the 50 cal Barrett, all this, people are like, "Oh, the recoil," and I'm like, the recoil is nothing. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm used to recoil. Um, it's it's the breathing, it's the focus. I'm ADHD, so I'm a hyper focused individual. Makes it a little bit easier for me. But once I got the Kestrel, a lot of the ballistics started making sense to me, if that makes sense to you. When we look at this device, let's kind of just set it up here in the background a little bit so you can see. What I like is it easy drop. You can drop the legs very simply. I do like that it has a weight bag hook at the bottom. That makes life a lot easier. In windy conditions, there's nothing worse than your tripod falling over. I was a semi-professional photographer, and I'll tell you, when you have a $3,000 camera and it takes a nosedive because of the wind, there's nothing worse than that. So when we look at this thing, it's a really nice setup here. Let's bring it over here. Now, you can also bring this up So when you have this up there and you have everything rolling, this becomes pretty impressive. And like I said, there's a bubble level so you can adjust it. So you can get this specific setup from Kestrel. Like I said, they sent it to me. It comes with a nice little carrying bag. You have another bag that holds your wind meter. Um, so when you've been developing this, are you using the Kestrel handheld or are you using it with a wind meter? I'm just curious, Northwest Guns. Um, Great setup, makes everything in life so much better, but um, you got to remember it's not so much just because you're getting the measurements. If you don't understand what the measurements mean, it's not helping you a lot, right? So a lot of this sequence here is all about understanding what the weather is and how it's affecting everything that you're doing. And that really kind of just brings it everything together. Um, and then when it comes to the Kestrel itself, it's not just turning it on and off. It's about ensuring that it's accurately measuring the environmental variables that affect your shot. Um, we're going to walk through the setup process um, in an upcoming video to go over everything you need to do. But kind of in a nutshell, I mean, you attach the wind vane, like we talked about, which ensures the device always faces into the wind for precise wind speed and directional measurements. We need to make sure it's unobstructed. So you don't want to put it into like a cubby area, right? You want to make sure that it has the variables of wind from all around it. That is actually one of the mistakes I've seen people make. Um, Once you make sure that it's unobstructed, in the environment that you're shooting from, the Elite, like I stated before, allows you to change your Bluetooth efficiencies. Now, you can also set it up with a pin. So if there's multiple people out there shooting with Kestrels, you're not getting other people's information. You link directly to your Kestrel through your device to validate via PIN. So you're only getting data from your specific device. Now let's talk about how you power it up. One of the key factors are here is it's got a power button right down here in the lower area here. Now, when you power this up, we get just power it up here. You can see it's all coming up there. Once it's powered up, you got to choose your ballistics. You got to choose everything that you're using with it. Now, when the device is set up and calibrated, you have to kind of calibrate it. A lot of people will tell you they calibrate every single time they go out to the range, and that's hitting the sprocket button here, moving over to calibration. And the calibration is very specific. It counts down, and you just turn it 360 degrees, making sure that the tripod's level, until that countdown goes down. And that calibration makes sure that we're getting the right direction on your wind. Not too difficult. Now, currently, I have a multitude of different rifles. So on my phone or whatever device, I don't know if this is going to be able to be seen, but I have a multitude of different rifles that I've already set up. I have the Ruger American that I recently purchased, which is it's a 224, actually 223, 55 grain boat tail. The velocity is 2833. Then I have my 338 Lapua Christian Arms. I have a 6.5 PRC. I have my Rob Zombie Slayer, which is a 6.5 PRC, 147 grain bullet. My velocity is 2910. And that's zeroed. I have 6.5 in my Fierce. I have a 338 Libera of Lapua in my Barrett. And then my other 338 Lupua Magnum is I named Happy Meal. So you're allowed to put in all this information on the bullets and the rounds here. So like diameter, weight, ballistics coefficients, muzzle velocity, zero range, bore height, zero offset, twist rate of the rifle, all this information. And then once you have this information, you hit save and you set it up to the Kestrel. This is a lot of work, guys. This is not something super easy to do. Um, it's a little overwhelming if you've never used one of these devices before. I'm sure Northwest Guns is actually, he's got some time behind the Kestrel, so that's going to make a big difference. Now, once you navigate through the Kestrel and through this, you actually, like I said, you use your phone or your tablet to actually input the data, and then you send it directly to the Kestrel. Now, the Kestrel I can link directly to my phone, and I can link it directly to the HUD. The HUD is really interesting. And in our upcoming video where we actually do the walkthrough of setting up and configuring the 5700, we're going to talk about connecting it to the HUD, and we're going to do a full review of the HUD and how that helps you. One of the great things about the HUD is as it's judging the wind, it's modifying the information. So at 100 yards to 1,000 yards on, like the way I have it configured now, it tells me all the modifications and changes and the scope adjustments or the holdovers I need to do to progress forward. So now let's see. You can save different profiles too, which is kind of neat. So, as we say before, with the 5700 and the 5700 Elite X, or actually the Elite and the Elite X, you can have up to 30 profiles in there, which means is if you're experimenting with different bullets, like Northwest Guns was talking about how the fact that he's been working on this one cartridge using a 135 grain burger bullet, which sounds absolutely spectacular. I can have, for the same rifle, a match grade bullet, and then my custom rounds, so I can see what's going to give me the better accuracy at longer range. Okay. So the whole different profiles of the different rifles and the types makes a big difference. Now, if you're hunting, it really makes a difference because you're going to have your practice ammo, and then you're going to have often your hunting ammo. So what I will often do is I don't want to waste my hunting ammo if I don't have to. So if I'm out there learning how to use my rifle, I want my less expensive rounds, and I want to keep my hunting rounds for when I'm hunting. But you're going to put all that information on the hunting rounds, into the Kestrel. And that way, once you get more and more familiar with the rifle and you put some rounds through it and you get that fouling in there, so you're getting nice and tight groups, then it's going to make a bigger difference. And then when you switch over to the hunting ammo, I have all that information already in here. So my changes and my modifications and holdovers are going to be a lot easier. You're going to have to re-zero because it's a different type of ammo. But it's interesting. I'll go to the range and I'll watch somebody shoot 20, 30, 40 rounds trying to get their zero on the rifle. I'll shoot that for fun. Hi, Vanessa Kitty. Thank you for joining us. Vanessa Kitty has been a long time watcher of the show for since we started up, actually. Always good to see her here. So when I've done this in the past, you should be able to get basically a one-shot zero. And the way this works is have something like a lead sled or a lead sled 3 or something that's going to stabilize your gun in a specific area. Four-sighted or laser-sighted to make sure that you're on paper. And then at 100 yards, make sure that the sled is weighted so it doesn't move. Fire one shot. So if my crosshairs are here on the paper and the shot was over here, it's a simple process of making it without moving the rifle, adjust the knobs to move your sight dead center where the shot landed. And now your scope theoretically is zeroed in. So when you fire now, it should be pretty much exactly where you sighted it in. That's the simplest process and easiest way to do this. Vanessa Kitty, have you ever used a Kestrel? Let me know. So let's talk about pros and cons about using the Kestrel. Now, as much as we rave about the Kestrel, it's really important to discuss both sides of the coin here. Let's see. No, but I want to buy one. It's Vanessa Kitty. They're fantastic. It's really, really good. It's a great, great tool to use. So on the plus side, the accuracy and depth of environmental data it provides is basically unmatched, right? And this can be a game changer in competitions or hunting. Vanessa Kitty is a big hunter. She's hunted in Alaska and a lot of different places. And she's been studying the Garmin Zero rangefinder. I would love to hear about that. I haven't played with that yet. So when you're hunting, remember the key here when hunting is it's the ethical shot. All right. So what we want to do is make sure that when we pull the trigger, that we have everything stacked up with us to make sure that we actually hit the target that we're shooting for, right? So if you're trying to hit the lungs and the heart of a specific animal, you got to make sure that you're sighted in, make sure that you have everything going for you. And then wind will always screw with you. Hot days will always screw with you. So, however, there's a learning curve when it comes with the Kestrel. This is not the easiest device in the world to play with. It's not the easiest one in the world to set up. It becomes far more intuitive Once you've done it a few times and you have everything talking, then it starts making a lot more sense. But I'll tell you right now, the biggest mistake you can make with the Kestrel is going out there and just buying a Kestrel and then setting it up at the hunt, right? If you've never used one before, this is going to be frustrating and a mistake for you. It's not self-intuitive, right? Um, Vanessa, tell us about what you liked about the Garmin Zero rangefinder, by the way, because I'm looking for a rangefinder on top of all of this. Um, this is not a pick up and play device. It requires some technical understanding and patience. You need to put the data into um, into your device to send to the Kestrel so it can figure out all the ballistics. And if you don't know exactly uh, how fast your bullets are traveling at the hunt, is not the time to try to figure that out. All this should be done at the range. At the range, you need to be using your chronograph. You need to understand the bullet speed. If you don't have a chronograph and you're not using hand loads, you can usually figure it out when it comes to um, like the box of ammo. Let's see here what Vanessa's saying here. She had her first bear, got him in the chest, bullet traveled downwards from the chest and out the bottom of the abdomen between his rear legs. Yeah, I'm sure that gave him a little test tickle. Uh, he still turned and ran 600 feet. His innards were behind him on the floor. Oh my God. Let's see. Uh, on the ground as he ran, then sat and waited. He had holes in his heart too. She has been studying the rangefinder, but has yet to buy the Zero. Now, do you know if that specific rangefinder is compatible with the Kestrel? And so here's some questions that you can answer to me. Is it compatible with the Kestrel? How far out does it go? Reflective and tree line. And um, is it light and easy to pack with you? And the reason why uh, people ask, weight is, and Vanessa, I'm sure will attest to this. Um, Ounces equal pounds. So even though it's kind of light right now, once you've trucked through the woods 2, 3, 4 miles, it starts feeling like an anvil on your shoulders or off your hip. It's less than an enjoyable process. So far, when it comes to the Kestrel, I absolutely love this device. I've taken it out to the range a couple of times, and I was able to. The range I go, I try to go to the far left side, right? So there's nobody on my left, and I'll shoot at my target, and I'll put this out a little ways, kind of in front of me to the left. So I'm not worried about anybody else shooting at it or miss bullets going there. But I want to get as much of the true wind as I can. Um, our range here, you're in. There's a roof and you have sidewalls. I prefer ranges where it's a big table and everybody can just shoot off the table. With this, you have your own little cubby holes, and that also means that if you happen to have muzzle brakes, the concussion from that is a little overwhelming. Uh, Vanessa, how much does that rangefinder cost? Do you know? Uh, Wait for her to respond. Now, we're getting near the top of the hour here. I want to remind you again, at the end of the month, we'll look at all the videos and everyone who is liked on the video, approximately $600. That's not too bad. That's not bad at all. Once again, if you every video you like and leave a comment in, and it can work with the Kestrel. All right, so I'm going to be looking at that. My first 4K is a bad rangefinder. Oh, the Vortex Razor 4K. Yeah, I've looked at that too. I was looking at the 5K as well. So we're doing a big prize giveaway at the end of the month. Like my videos, comment in each video. Everybody who comments. Same thing with Instagram. And like our page, the Lupo Outdoors page on Facebook. So I'm going to take a list of everyone that likes and comments on each side. So the more I see your name, the more entries you will get into the giveaway. The more people I see share the videos, have them comment as well. The more people there, the bigger the prize will be. So look for that. They're also selling a smartwatch with it to compute ballistics. Now that's kind of clever. As Long Range Reaper will say, who is one of our viewers and a good friend of the channel and myself. His big thing is yes, these devices are wonderful, but the moment your batteries die, you're on your own. So we'll have to play with that. So we have a couple of minutes left. Vanessa, Katie, I'm so glad you joined us. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. And Northwest Guns, thank you so much for joining us. I'll look for your post. Please check out our channel, Lupo Outdoors. Please like and subscribe, share the videos, comment in as many videos as you can. And at the end of the month on the podcast, we'll actually do the giveaway. Oh, thank you, Vanessa Kitty. She said it's always fun to catch my show. I appreciate it. She has just been a spectacular friend. So, do I recommend the Kestrel so far? Yes, I really do recommend the Kestrel. As a device to help you get the scientific data you need and understand the bullet drop and velocity and get that dope going, this device is kind of indispensable. It's a little pricey. You know, the 5700X Elite is about 900 retail before tax. It's pricey, but I personally think it's absolutely worth it. Oh, okay. And then she's going to tell me how far that device can measure too. Once again, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week. Have a fantastic weekend. And as always, be safe out there.